Hey, what's up, YouTube? So this is my final audio setup. So, I guess I'll start from left to right. As you can see, real quick, here's my final audio setup. Or my final setup, period. It changed a lot from what it used to be, and here's my final setup. So from left to right, this is an Awea three-way speaker. You have tweets in the top, mids over here, and then you have subs down here. They actually sound pretty decent, and they're pretty nice speakers. Over here I got a piston from my old quad. It was a 2001 Yamaha Blaster, an old hard drive and a microphone. It's my backup drive. Table. Lifetime table. Going again, here's my Xbox remote. You can see here, same remote, lights up. Pretty cool. Going along. Going ahead, here's my Asus 23-inch 1080p monitor. It's 2 ms response time. Did I mention it's 1080p? Again, it's Asus. Here's my Pioneer 700 watt, 750 or 700, one of those, 700 watt amp, 5.1 channel, although as you can tell I'm missing 2 speakers, so it's only set up to 2.1 right now. But that's okay because these speakers are pretty gnarly and they're pretty big. So yeah, 2.1 right now set up. See right there. It's a pretty nice amp for what it is. I mean, I did get it pretty cheap, but you know, whatever. Focus, whatever. Alright, there's that. I have people text me. It's getting really annoying now. There's all that stuff. Over here is his Logitech K360 keyboard. It's wireless. Does have a cap lock light on it, which I kind of like. The battery life on this thing is like 3 years, so it's pretty amazing. You have some simple macros right here. Play, pause, next, mute, up, down, and you have all these function keys over here, which I think are great because I use them all. And it's a full keyboard basically, and I like it because it's wireless and I don't need extra wires. Moving right along, this is my Logitech G500 mouse. 10 buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a great mouse. It's a laser mouse. As you can see in the bottom. Whatever. Just take my word for it. It's a laser mouse. Alright, moving along again. I got my, over here, got my Beats Audio headphones. Nothing too great, but whatever. Over here I got all my discs and CD drives and installation discs and all that. Alarm clock, nothing special. Another OES to match that one. Again, tweets, mids, and subs all in one. I'll get to the PC last. Actually, kind of have to anyway. Down there is an acoustic audio. It's a 10-inch 600 watt subwoofer. It's ported. So again, I replaced that for my last one, which is actually in my closet over here. That's my last one that it had going on. So I replaced it. That one was 750 watts. This one is 600. But the thing was, I was only putting about 75 watts into that one. No, my bad. I was only putting 150 watts into that one. Yes, 150. Right, yeah, 150. So this one is obviously a lot better. I mean, it sounds completely different. It's more filling than the rest of them, but it sounds pretty awesome. Definitely makes my entire apartment shake, and it's pretty awesome. So that's that. Like I said, I set up the whole new table again. So here's this whole thing, whole new table. I only had 4 foot to work with, and if you saw my last setup, it ended right about here. So I only had about 2 feet to work with. And then it was just stacked about this high. Oops, my bad. It was stacked about that high, and it got really annoying because it was just there. I also didn't have very much workspace. So, changed that around. Alright, so now onto the PC. This is my custom built computer. I guess I'll start with the case. This is a Apiva Dreamer X4 case. It's a pretty nice case. There used to be a temperature readout in the front over here, but just stopped working, so I just ripped the wires out. It wasn't worth it.
Got a hard drive hot swap bay right here. It could be full size 3.5 inch or
laptop size, 2.5. So got my disk driver right there, and this one's just an empty one. Got these 2 slots up here. Kind of looks cool because the light shines through them. The hard drive activity light is down there. You can see it flash just like that. So that's pretty cool. On the top over here, I got 2 140 millimeter fans. They are I don't know, whatever. I don't remember what brand they are, but they're 140 millimeter fans. They're 2 exhaust fans coming out. Sorry, 2 exhaust fans coming out, so that's great. And also got 140 millimeter coming into the intake down there. And then, so onto the case now. I guess I'll start from the top down. So the motherboard is an Asus M5A97R 2.0 motherboard. It's a half decent motherboard. It has a 4x2 power phase. I wish it was slightly more, but what are you gonna do? It was fairly cheap for the price. It has overclock abilities and it has a VRM heatsink, like you can see right there. So wouldn't have to worry about it like my last MSI board, which could have caught fire. So anyway, that's the motherboard. Moving down, I got a G.Skill Ripjaws 1866 RAM right there. I did overclock them to 2133, however, it only increased the bandwidth by like 100 megabytes a second, and it wasn't really worth it. So I just put it back to 1866. To the left, that is a Corsair Hydro Series H80i CPU cooler. You see pre-filled. I only have 1 fan on, and it's coming into an intake, so air is coming from the outside and going in, and just exhausting straight out the top. And then for the CPU, I have an AMD FX 6350 CPU. It's a 6-core, true 6-core, and it's overclocked to 4.5 gigahertz. With this cooler, it idles just about 27 degrees, I think. And I can show you right now the temperature it idles at. Now, I've just been playing music for about an hour or so, so it's just, you know. So it's the CPU is idling at 27 degrees, like I just said. And the motherboard is idling at 23 degrees. CPU fan is at just about 800 megahertz RPMs, my bad. And the 2 top fans, 2 top exhaust fans, right there, are right around 650 RPM, 700 RPM. So you can see the whole thing right there. Moving along. So yeah, it's a great cooler. I kind of like it. Moving along, that's just a little fan that I put on top of the north bridge. You can get a better look at it from over here. The little fan I just put on top of the north bridge. It's just screwed in over there and has the motherboard input. And that's just to keep the motherboard, the north bridge, cool because of the graphics card. It blocks all the air going to it, so it would get extremely hot and you couldn't touch it. So now it stays remarkably cool. So that's that. I got a USB 3.0 header, as you can see. That's why I like the case. Moving down, that is an Asus R9 280X Direct CU2 Top Edition. That's factory overclocked to 1070 megahertz on the core and 1600 megahertz on the memory. The cool thing about it is that it has a 12-phase power VRM, whatever you want to call it. It's 12 phases, so it has incredible overclock ability. However, I've not overclocked it yet because I've no reason to. And with AMD's new drivers 13.12, it actually increased my 3D Mark, my Haven benchmarks, Eugene Haven, by quite a lot. It went up, I believe, like 20 points. But not only that, but my minimum FPS went from 7.9 up to 20. So that was a huge increase. I haven't played any games on it yet with the new drivers because I just updated them yesterday, but yeah. So that's an R9 280X. The stock V-core in that is 1.2 volts. And so it could overclock roughly around to 1180, I believe. People were getting it too before they had to adjust the voltage. And my graphics card autos around 27 degrees also, I believe. And I put my own thermal paste on it just so you guys know. Stock thermal paste sucked. It's idling at 28 right now. Usually it's around 27. It's quite warm in my house right now, so yeah, so that's that, and that's with 20% fan load. With playing games, it has just barely peaked at 70 degrees Celsius. That's playing the most intense games I have for hours upon hours. Like Far Cry 3, it really pushes it, and that gets up to about 70. It usually stays around 68 to 69 in almost every single game, and that's all stock settings, so that's with a 33% fan, which is pretty good. I didn't set up any fan profiles or anything. Not really worried about it. Moving down, I have a Corsair CX 750 watt power supply right there. It's the modular, so CX 750M. Pretty great power supply, and I still have a lot of open slots, so sorry for the dust. There's a lot of dust there. Sorry for the dust, but yeah. And you guys want to see some high quality dust? Look at that quality dust. So if you guys ever want to see dust at almost 53 times zoom, there you go. So anyway, that's the power supply. It's pretty good. My only complaint about it is it has a lot of coil whine occasionally. Like right now it's whining just a tad, barely audible, but you can hear it. Over here I got a 120mm fan blowing straight back towards the end of that, and that one is going straight up towards the graphics card. So this whole bottom area is getting air for the graphics card. Over here I have some DVD burner. I have no idea what it is. You can see, I don't know, there's the front of it. Nothing special. I have an Intel 330 series 120 gig SSD in there. Can't really see it. Reads and writes at 512 megabytes a second, sequential data rate. That's what the specs were listed as. And I also have a Western Digital Black Edition 500 gig, 7200 RPM. So that's basically my computer. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm loving it. I've played any game on 1080p max settings, so it's great for that. I don't really have any complaints with it. You see some of here I have some stickers. I have the FX sticker, I have G-Seal sticker, I have EVGA because my last graphics card was a 660. So yeah, and then Asus is my motherboard. Has some cool vents down over here. See inside of them. And here, I'll put the camera right next to it, but it's actually quite quiet. So this is just idling. Obviously there's no load on it or anything, and that's idling at the temperature, and that's basically as loud as it gets. It gets pretty louder. It gets a little bit louder when I start gaming, but I set that up purposely. Those top two fans increase their speeds a lot to exhaust the air. I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else. So future upgrade with this, I'm just planning a motherboard and CPU, and that's way in the future, a couple of years, and that's whenever AMD releases their new chipsets and CPUs and such. So other than that, it's a pretty beastly rig. I love it a lot. Oh, and I also put lights in it, as you can see. And this side window over here is my custom side window I made out of acrylic. So I made that out of acrylic. I really like it. It took me all of like maybe 2 hours to create that out of acrylic, trace the old one, put it in. I also got some nice cold cathodes over there, and I could turn them on and off by a switch I put over there. See the switch? So I'm able to turn them on and off at night. I usually turn them off when I'm just browsing the internet or writing Word documents and such. So and I also have an Asus PCIe N15 Wi-Fi adapter all the way on the bottom there. So as most of you guys know, this is now my regular rig. I gave my laptop to my mom, so this is now my regular rig, and I enjoy it a lot. It's a great rig and very fast and very awesome. One of the other things I did was I actually increased my download speeds a lot. I was having an issue with my router. I could show you my speed test net. I was having a lot of issues with my wireless, and I'm going to choose my closest server, and you can see my speeds right there, and it's going to be a little bit lower. But yeah, I'm getting about 58 megabits a second, occasionally into 59, 57. So right there, 56. So before I was actually only getting 20. It would idle between 10, 20, and 30 megabits. And the reason because of that is that, well, and you can see my Wi-Fi adapters back there. Those two sticks, the antennas. But not only that, but I also had a lot of, I live in an apartment complex. And being that I live in an apartment complex, there's a lot of Wi-Fi radios basically everywhere around here. And there's just so much interference with cordless phones, other Wi-Fi networks, all that stuff. So basically yesterday I took everything apart to do with our phones, internets, and TV. And I rewired basically everything to do with it. I eliminated about 30 feet of cable, just useless cable. And it drops my pings about 5 to 7 ms coming from my wall to my my modem. And then I also relocated my router to a new spot. So now I'm getting about 1 to 2 ms ping from my computer to my router, and about 14 ms ping overall, which to me is honestly great. And I'm getting my full download speed now, which is 60 megabits, 58, 60, whatever. That's the full speed I get at my modem. So I increased a lot of things, fixed a lot of things. I mean, it might have taken a year or whatever, but it's finally done. It's my final setup that I'm looking at. And I think it's a great setup. I'm really liking it. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty loud. And it looks pretty beastly. And my monitor is a great monitor, so I had some great visuals there and very happy with it. That's basically it. I mean, I'm not really planning to do anything else with this system, this whole setup, for quite a while now, because I don't need to anymore, but I'm very happy with it. I'm very pleased with it. Feel free to comment, rate, and subscribe, and other than that, I guess have a great day. And if you want to catch me on Steam or whatever and just play Battlefield or something like that, just let me know. Hit me up. Alright, thanks for watching.